a couple of solutions, yes, and I think Melissa is a great way to protect herself specifically against the Fanny, but what I'm seeing here is something completely different.
Yeah, that is a Kagura gold lane being played by Valens. We know that he likes to play mages in the gold lane when he came out with the Lunox before. This is going to be something completely new, and it could work considering that Melissa tends to punish heroes with shorter range, so the Umbrella will provide him with the poke damage that he requires. Formaze going with the Esmeralda, a little bit risky since it needs time to scale up, but if it does, we know that TODAK loves playing that late game. Orange Esports currently 1 game down, going for a double mage composition. Lots of crowd control, lots of disruption, and solid late game scaling. But if we're talking about late game scaling, well, TODAK, they've got it in droves. That is their entire power spike, their entire win condition. Will they be able to hold out long enough to survive this against Orange Esports?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be game number 2 between Orange Esports as well as TODAK. With Orange Esports' new adaptation, you can see the invades are coming in with Min and Born going for an aggressive lane cut there, but TODAK was able to block them off. So this is not exactly a decent start that Orange Esports is having, whereas TODAK is able to read them very easily.
Yep, I mean, TODAK, they saw what Orange Esports did yesterday against Suhas. They've done the exact same thing. Every time you see Grok, they're expected to rush level 2. Man, he's taking way too much damage here, and Moon aggressively walking up is not something that you see very often with this Xavier. He's willing to expand a bit of mana because he has the impure range, but Garry does get the Litho Wanderer. Chiku's trying to get on out of here. Oh, the movement from Chiku, but it doesn't matter no more. Cyclone Eye to get him out of there, and it's going to be first blood by Valens. A great flame shot.
Yeah, some really good juking from Chiku, but Orange Esports are not going to give up on that kill. They want to slow this Ling down as much as possible, and they know that they will have the stronger early game, so they have to make use of that timing.
Yeah, this is just typical Orange Esports stuff, and this is brilliant as well, knowing that Valens is aware he can have an earlier power spike compared to a normal marksman, and for him to actually take part in that is actually huge because it is going to give him a little bit more of a lane advantage as he continues to punish Momo. As you can see, Yums is going to be protecting Momo as much as he can. As soon as he hits 4, I'm pretty sure that Yums might be focusing on the other lanes instead.
I don't think so. I think as of right now, until level 4, right, Valens still has a lot of kill pressure on Momo, and he's always going to have that, right? Formace, he's trying to get on out of here as one lands the power of nature cutthroat as well, with a perfect wall spam is coming in from Garry. He's got the mechanics. You've seen his Fanny before. You just feel like you feel so helpless against it.
And that's such a nice combo, too. Using the Guardian's barrier as another wall to allow Garry to wall spam against the Esmeralda, but now Born going to be targeted with the Tempest Ablaze. Real one manipulation comes out, not going to keep him alive, but will set up for the kill onto Chiku, and guess what? They're right on top of the turtle.
Oh, that was huge coming from Orange Esports. That's exactly what they need. However, Garry, he doesn't have the energy. He's going to get caught on a bouncing ball as he makes a run, but the Dawn Light comes in. Garry waits for the bouncing ball to finish and gets a kill, and on top of it all, survives it all. Formaze just doesn't have the damage to kill him off.
Boy, it's sad to see, but that does mean that the turtle is going to be reset. Chiku now gets his purple buff first. He might start this off, but lane priority doesn't seem to be in his favor since Kufra is going to be playing on the top side. He's probably going to hover knowing that Formace has priority. Take that River Crab, but again, Orange Esports, the rotations should be coming about 10 seconds or so for turtle side.
What is interesting about the emblems these teams have is that Chiku has gone for killing spree instead of the usual Demon Slayer, so he's betting on getting kills here. But the fight has already begun. Formace doing a lot of damage to the backline, but it looks like both teams will decide to back off from this. They don't want to fight right now.
Yeah, this is just very, very difficult for Orange Esports to invade, especially when all of them have their ultimates available. And knowing TODAK, this is going to be the same thing again. They are going to try and buy time with the later stage game. Chiku just doesn't have the greatest of time, but looks like they will be able to Langar as they catch Garry with Yums catching off guard. And this is huge for TODAK because that is going to make so much space in terms of pressure. Yeah, where were the comms there? I think Garry just wasn't expecting to get attacked by Yums from that particular angle. Born, he's always going to have lane priority. He just pushes way faster here against an Esmeralda. Yums, he's going to get kicked back, and Valens tries to go for the yin-yang overturn to finish him off, and they do find that kill. Momo, so early on into the game, yes, he can harass, but he doesn't have the damage to 2v1.
Yep, a beautiful setup by Min. Valens is already a whole level ahead of Momo, and Orange are coming up to get the kill on the Melissa, but that that means that Chiku will get the turtle for free. ORANGE Esports have chosen to make this trade.
Yep, Garry can technically come in and fight for Maze right now, unless he doesn't have the purple. Yep, his purple buff has already ran out, 10 more seconds until it comes back. And I think at this stage of the game, right, can we pull up the item list real quick? Because I need to know what Moon's going for. With we've seen a lot of teams pivot towards mystery shops so they can actually rush cooldown boots. Sometimes they even go for magic penetration. I'm seeing that Moon is purchasing a Clock of Destiny at this stage of the game, so he does want to scale.
Yeah, it is something that is going to be as of meta as well. There have been experimentation between whether or not first item enchanted talisman or etc. But so far, the best build is going to be the Clock of Destiny. However, here comes a wall spam coming in from Garry. They find a pickup, and that is going to be Moon punted being taken out. So the Clock of Destiny is going to be a little bit late in terms of reaching max stack.
Yep, that's going to be fine though. Moon does play for the later stages of the game. Anyway, Born flickering early so he doesn't take any damage from Formaze. He can't afford to get hit by a falling Star Moon right now. Formaze double checks the brush, and now it's Garry and Mon to punish him.
Yep, Garry jumping in, falling Star Moon on top of Mon. Formaze wants to turn this around, and he is surviving this. Forces out the real world manipulation, and Garry even taunts him to his face for a few moments before finishing him off.
So that is huge of a pick-off coming for ORANGE Esports. But Chiku now, he's going to get surrounded again. But considering that this is a Fanny, I feel like he is just trying to beat Chiku in this situation. Born is in position to actually go in for the wall shot spam. And this is something that I think Chiku knows as well, but looks like he's going to focus on objectives. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, you can see TODAK just making sure that Momo doesn't get punished, and Garry, he just waits for the right moment, and Chiku just completely outplays him. But style points coming from Chiku, though.
It's looking good. It's looking good. Garry accidentally using one more steel cable than he absolutely should, but Min is mirroring Yums, and I think this is a good idea. They need tabs on the initiator from a TODAK side, because we know for a fact that Formaze, he's not going to get much done here on his side of the map. He just wants to play on this island to scale as quickly as possible, but more importantly, Balance just making sure he is freezing the lane onto Momo's side. He knows he's going to get one shot. Yums is going to get kicked back into Mon. Real world manipulation just popping out to get and zone off the rest.
Unfortunately, not going to be able to get a kill though. The real world manipulation doesn't keep them in long enough, and it doesn't look like Valence decided to follow up on that. So it looks to be fine here as Born constantly getting zoned out. Chiku gets a turtle.
Okay, I'm not entirely sure why Mon flickered over the wall there to get back, but let's see how Garry plays this situation out. He can overturn finds Melissa instantaneously. Get away from me was not casted fast enough, and unfortunately, he's going to get hit by the bouncing ball, but that's perfect for Garry because now he has the full stop he needs.
Oh, but it's not going to be over yet. But Chiku, guys, he can try and go in for the challenge against Valence. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map as well, you can see the XP laners are trying to make something work. However, ORANGE Esports is able to respond, and I'm surprised enough, TODAK is doing pretty decently well despite losing in so much in terms of kills. Economy-wise, they're actually cashing out pretty decent.
All right. Cashing out pretty... I mean... It's slight. It's a very slight lead. We don't see the big lead we're looking for. We're not looking for check just yet. Formaze unfortunately getting hit by a majority of the damage from the real world manipulation, but he still gets to get out for free. Yums, he hops on in to open up the map. He gets hit by the wall charge in mid. He can kick him back into his team. Mon, unfortunately, does have enough damage with the help of a Born. They slow roast him in the mid lane.
Yep, a beautiful setup by ORANGE Esports. Literally waiting for as long as possible between abilities to constantly keep Yums chain stunned because they know they don't have enough damage to burst him down. Because of that, they're able to get off that free kill. But now Min gonna be walking into a bush with two people, should be able to get out. Still has the Jeet Kune Do.
Yeah, this is something that's so difficult to play. You can see TODAK, they're just playing as defensive as they can. And once they have the items, they're looking to pick a fight. Formaze is gonna be here to provide a little bit of assistance. Min is trying to bait things out. He's a little bit too low. And TODAK, they're trying his best to go in for the finish, but Momo is gonna get caught out. However, he focuses his attention on Valence and chunks him down in time, and that is huge. Meanwhile, the rest of TODAK are going to be gathering here as they try to pressure the top lane and then potentially set up for the Lord up top.
Yeah, Momo taking Electro Flash instead of Weakness Finder on top of having the Inspire able to sustain through Valence's full burst, including the Flame Shot. A good play by Momo's side, and they might need to consider getting Necklace of Durance here.
Yeah, but now Born and Min are coming up. Formaze using the Falling Star Moon. Now it looks like they're going to use the real world manipulation into the way of the Dragon, but Chiku comes in from the backline, pops the Tempest ablaze with the Dawning Light to finish Mon off, and now Min and Born have to make a hasty retreat. They do fight one with the wall charge. Formaze gonna follow up right behind. 2 kills going over to Orange Esports.
Oh, that was huge coming in from both Orange Esports as well as TODAK. TODAK, they make the attempt a little bit hesitantly up top. They trade the 50-50s, but at the same time, it was a necessary one if they wanted to get some sort of economy, because as soon as Garry showed himself down mid, they immediately made the jump, especially for Chiku, and it was so risky, but it was a necessary trade considering that into the later stage of the game, TODAK is going to scale way, way harder compared to Orange Esports.
Well, so they have to snowball hard, and I mean, Orange Esports, they need to snowball harder than this. There is no gold lead, but based on what we've seen from the items, Mon, he's already got the Ice Queen's wand on top of getting the glowing wand. So that's going to be a lot of persistent damage, not burst just yet, but he is starting to scale.
Yep, Yoom's gonna use the Tyrant's Rage here to set up for Moon, and Born is dropping real low, forcing him to use the Wild Charge. Dawning Light has already been expended before. Formaze, he's looking for it. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Mon gonna pop the real world manipulation to keep Garry alive, and he will successfully do so. Min looking for Yooms, not sure if he has the way of the dragon, but there's gonna be no casualties here in the mid lane.
Yep, you can see Valens now getting a little bit more proactive compared to just trying to focus on Momo for this game, just because he knows that, hey, he needs to show himself up. And look at this, here comes Formaze getting based up pretty low, but he just can't seem to follow him out. However, Min will catch on to Yooms on the other side of the map, but Orange Esports, they just don't have the damage to do it. But Valens, oh no, with the Dawning Light, Momo goes in for the swipe with the Inspire, just completely crits his way through. Garry finally shows himself and takes him out. What a big catch.
Oh, and he's able to try and contest Chiku for his own orange buff there. Chiku unfortunately can't do much as he doesn't have his retribution. Gets stolen in front of his eyes when he's the one doing the invading. But now, without retribution, this is going to be the purple buff. Can they steal it? No. Orange Esports have bigger sights. They're taking out Formaze this time. Real world manipulation onto Moon. He's trying to get on out with that ice. One and a grace. Guardian's barrier from Born keeps him in the zone.
Yep, they're still following up though. They now have their eyes set on Yooms as Formaze is gonna delay them for as long as possible. He's chunking out Born pretty low, but won't be able to follow up on that. Right now, both teams are trading pretty evenly.
Yep, and as of yet, I like this interesting fact coming from Orange Esports. They're not afraid to use the wall charge. They're not afraid to use the Jeet Kune Do. Even though they are going to get stunned by the bouncing ball from Yooms, as long as they cancel out the bouncing ball, Garry is going to have free reigns, and that's exactly a good strategy. But for how long can it work? Because now we're heading into the later stage of the game where TODAK eventually will scale pretty hard. As you can see, Formaze is starting to get in a situation where it's almost unkillable. Momo is starting to hit like the truck, and this is kind of worrisome for Orange Esports.
I do agree there. TODAK, they have 4 late game heroes, and Orange are not nearly as far ahead as you would think. Tempest Ablaze forces Mon to use the flicker. Dawning Light doesn't pick him off. He will be fine, but Formaze finds him in the backline with the falling star. Moon Valens is unable to follow up as the way of the dragon is really unlucky for Min. They're still on top of him though, but Formaze, he doesn't care. He is already unkillable. Look at the shield. Garry gonna get stopped in the bush by Yooms. Can't go for the squishies. He's gonna have to settle for the Kubra. Formaze still dancing around, buying so much time.
Oh, this is going to be the Formaze show coming from TODAK as of yet. This is his moment to shine, but Moon, oh no, he catches Garry, and the Dawning Light catches them, and that is going to be Orange Esports for a late recoil. So much space for TODAK, and Momo is very happy about this because now they are going to try and threaten the middle tower. Garry responds, I hate you, and goodbye.
Wow, where did he go? Where did Moon go? He is going to need a winter truncheon. Mon recently purchased it, and it's understandable why, but 17-7 is the kill score, and once again, Formaze gets absolutely walked down, and Valens secures that kill. This could translate into a potential fight by Lord's side, but we'll have to wait and see.
Well, this is going to be a difficult one here. It's all up to Chiku if he wants to make a space, but seems like he's not going to be focusing onto his Lord as he tries to pressure down for the bottom lane. Meanwhile, Orange Esports, you can see Yooms trying to buy a little bit more time and make a little bit of pressure. He forces the fight. Orange Esports, they're not giving up the Lord yet, but the Dawning Light comes in. Oh my God! Moon! That should not have happened. How? Just how? Just how did you do it? But now that's happening. Chiku, he goes for the split push. He tries to pressure the troll, and he needs to make his judgment. And he survives. He gets the kill on the Valens. What an absolute monster. What is this game? TODAK, this should not be possible? How? Just how?
Blunder. Oh, blunder. That's how Tier 2 ends up falling down. Min's getting hit by Muddles, but now we see Yums getting 2 pushed against the wall, allowing Chico to re-engage. Dawning Lion connects on both. They finish this off with Lord on their side. One mistake was all that they needed. TODAK walk right into the base. GG. Well played.
Just insult added to injury from TODAK. They not only steal the Lord, they not only kill off Garry, but they even pick off 3 kills as Chiku escapes from split pushing their base. Orange Esports just outclassed in the late game by TODAK's draft and rendered unable to respond.
We need an instant replay by